Hello, heroes and villains. Welcome to Multiverse. I'm not sure why I had some issues trying to start a live stream, but give me a minute so that I can finish my setup over here. So obviously today we are going to play Legends PvP as soon as I'm done with my setup here. So just give me a minute. Usually the toughest part is getting the thumbnail. Sadly, sometimes the evil YouTube they just don't want to save the thumbnail for some reason. I'm sure there's a reason. I couldn't tell you what that is. So let's see. What do we use today? Let's go with this one here. So we will play Legends PvP for a while. Normally we start playing a 4v4, then 5v5, until we get to 8 versus 8. But before we get started, the question that a lot of you guys are asking is when will we get the spring seasonal, the summer seasonal? I have no idea. The devs are not talking. I would have thought we would get it in June. Basically, we had the patrol in May. We have another patrol in July, so I thought that June would be a good time to get the summer seasonal. Turns out that I was wrong. So either we'll get it very late June, or sometimes in July. We'll have to wait and see. I guess it's not impossible that we might get it in August. That could happen, I suppose. Almost there, still on target. But right now, yeah, the devs are not telling us anything. So are we going to get the summer seasonal soon? We just don't know. Oh, YouTube is acting a bit wonky. Come on. There we go. So that should do it. And before we get started, just to be on the safe side, if you can hear me, say yes. So that should do it. So Zach says Bebop. Scrolls says Barbatos. Rashawn says Hello Multiverse and everyone. Zach says anyone knows if Grimorium is a good DPS artifact. Yeah, it's a good one. People are using that and the Quizlet right now. Scroll says Happy Father's Day, so Happy Father's Day to everyone out there. David Sharp says hi everyone. Oh yes, 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 yes. So you guys can hear me. That's good. Sadly, too often the audio crashes with DCUO. Sadly, it's a recurring event these days, so we have to make sure. I'm sure you guys have been there before. Very often in the middle of your stream, the audio would crash, and then you guys would tell me multiverse, we don't hear you no more. So I'm not telling you guys anything you don't already know. So there we go. So we have a Princess Sella. That's a nice looking character. So people often ask multiverse, how do we join? Very simple. Go to on duty, go to custom play, and go to in this case Legends. Seeing how we're going to play Legends PvP. So let us start with Ace Chemicals 4 versus 4. Oh, and let's select our Legend character. So let's select the Batman. In the case of the Batman, I'm sure you've noticed, we do have quite a few options for the Batman. Let's go for the Dark Knight Batman in this case. You may notice like the big emblem is kind of reminiscent to the new Batman chess piece we just got. I guess one of the reasons why people seem to enjoy the Absolute Batman is that it is very reminiscent, at least visually speaking, of the Batman from The Dark Knight Returns. Oh, here's our friend Carl Lucas. And I'm pretty sure it's on purpose. I'm pretty sure when they decided to create the Absolute Batman, and they went back to what is pretty much the most, I would argue, the most iconic or popular Batman stories we have at this point, The Dark Knight Returns. I know an argument could be made, I guess, for Batman Year One, but now or maybe even Batman: The Killing Joke. But I would say that the Dark Knight Returns is pretty much was a game changer, and I would say it's pretty much the best Batman story we've had in a long, long, long time, maybe even forever. And you have to wonder how come after 14 years, how come we never got a Dark Knight Returns DLC? That would have seemed like a no-brainer. Make a Dark Knight Returns DLC. Maybe we have to travel to the future and then fight the evil mutants with future Batman. Stop the evil future Jokers from killing a lot of people. Stop Two Face from going crazy. I don't know. I could have seen easily. I could have seen a whole storyline and easily three, if not four chapters with that storyline. Like instead of getting four chapters of the Light and Rain storyline, how about we get four chapters of the Dark Knight Returns? Oh well, maybe someday. But there are storylines like that, like the Dark Knight Returns. I can understand like not doing a story like Crisis on Infinite Earths. You would need thousands of characters for Crisis, and obviously there's no way the devs can do that. Even Kingdom Come would require a lot of characters to be able to realize that story. But with the Dark Knight Returns, you would have to create the mutants, Two Face, an updated version of Two Face, maybe an updated version of Joker, maybe, and maybe an updated version of Superman. And you pretty much would have all the characters you would need. Maybe Carrie Kelly. Yeah, I guess you would have to include a Carrie Kelly. And just use Gotham. You would not even need a new map for that.
Match commencing. West control node enabled.
Oh no, we're the evil villains.
This is where you run!
I'll pulverize you!
All will be well.
Out of my way!
True detective work.
Vengeance
You're finished.
is mine!
This is cool. Try harder.
Oh, they were able to capture the node. Not sure why we have someone to the right of the map. Not sure what they're doing there.
My hope can't be extinguished.
Enough.
So you saw there's someone who was block breaking me while the other one was fighting me. So as soon as I tried to block a Nightwing, the evil Batman block break me. And they kicked me. Can you believe it? I'm not going to go back to the middle because obviously it's going to be me against multiple opponents.
That all you got?
So let's see if we can take down the evil Shazam.
Beware the Dark Knight.
The hunt is on!
Stop your
Oh.
crying.
Justice will be served. Shape up or ship out. Ha!
My imagination has no bounds.
Pathetic. And I'm even wearing heels.
Central
Oh.
control node enabled.
Lesson.
Call yourself a threat?
Take
that, villain. Batman.
As you saw, the taser pull did not even begin to stun him. That happens.
Out of my way!
You're going down. You think you'd learn?
Time to bust some heads!
Pathetic.
The
And
hunt
I'm even wearing
is
heels.
on.
Hope burns bright. Try detective work.
Nah, they're running away.
This is the force of my will.
Enough.
Come on!
Call yourself a threat?
I am the Batman.
So you said Nightwing was blocking. I was block breaking him, and nothing happened. So sometimes sadly there seems to be a delay that sometimes you're block breaking someone who's no longer blocking, and the block break actually does work. Sometimes you're block breaking someone while they're blocking, and somehow it just doesn't work.
Discharging electrical system.
So sadly, there's a bit of a delay sometimes, or I don't know. That's why, if you're wondering why people don't like PvP very much, and especially Legends PvP, that is why.
On your
I
feet,
don't give up.
loser.
Sometimes the mechanics or the counter mechanics don't work quite as well as they should.
Pathetic. And I'm even wearing heels.
That all you got?
Stop your crying.
Electric.
That's it?
See, I thought our friend Kilowog was taking care of 10 seconds. I thought Kilowog was taking care of Batman in the corner, but as you saw, Batman was still targeting me.
Discharging electrical system.
Pathetic. And I'm even wearing heels.
Electrical system charge complete.
Oh, are we playing too rough?
That's just sad.
So you saw he was able to pull me using his taser pull. Sadly, most of the time, when I try to use the taser pull, It doesn't work quite so well. Like right there, as you saw, nothing happened with the taser pull. I was not even able to stun him.
Try to make this interesting, will ya?
Stop
You're
your
going
crying.
down. You think
Vengeance
you'd
is
learn?
mine!
I am vengeance. Call yourself a threat? Not even close. I am the Batman.
You're in my sight.
Have hope.
So you might have noticed with Nightwing, even though I was doing my knee attack, normally it sends the enemy flying into the air. But as you saw, it didn't work. It didn't work. And then after doing that, doing it like 3 times, then he blocked, and of course was able to block me.
That's it?
Out of my way!
You're going down.
On your feet, for
Justice!
SX is asking, how is PvP server in the US? There's no one on the PvP server anymore. So you have, if you go there to play PvP, it's not gonna happen.
On.
Beware the Dark Knight.
And see, I was trying to finish up Nightwing, and I couldn't do anything because I was being juggled. Like basically, Nightwing and Huntress were both targeting me, and that was pretty much almost perma stunning me. And I couldn't even use one of my abilities. It took quite a few tries to be able to finally finish up Nightwing, but as you saw, it didn't really help.
The night is mine.
No point going back in the middle. Everyone is there, so let's see if we can be more useful here.
Try detective work.
Oh,
You're going down. Try harder. That's it?
Electrical system charge complete.
Enough.
see, like right now, our friend Batman is block breaking me. So if I was to try to block, as soon as I would try to block, I would be block broken. So I cannot take the risk of trying to block. But sadly, you saw the result. But for PvP, the PvP open world, there's no one in the PvP open world anymore. So there's no point in really playing there. Actually, you go to the PvP open world when you want to be able to not have everyone else. Like if you want to play quiet by yourself, and if you don't want to be bothered by anyone else, yeah, you go to the PvP open world, and you'll be all by yourself. But there's no one really playing in the PvP open world anymore. Sadly, they did that way back when. Let's try one more 4v4. They did that way back when. because people were I'm going to say griefing, but they were basically camping spawn points where low level players were playing, or where quest givers were for low level players, and basically they were keeping low level players from being able to complete their missions. Nah, it doesn't work, Aiden. As soon as I would have blocked to try to roll, I would have been the half nanosecond. I would have pressed the block button. I would have been block broken. Try that many times. When there's someone who spam block break on you, nothing much you can do. Dr. Void, the griefing was out of control. AO players, especially on the hero side. Yeah, one thing we came to realize way back when was that there was a lot of a-hole on the hero side. On the villain side, the reason why was that there was a lot less players on the villain side, especially on PC. On PC, there were so few villains that very often you would end up playing with the same villains over and over. Like sometimes when you would log in to play let's say your daily missions, or when you would log in on reset day and then play all your missions, you would pretty much end up playing like you would play the 4 player missions with pretty much the same people, and then when you would move on to the 8 player missions, most of your group would still be the people you had played with before. So on the villain side, you would often end up playing with the same people, so you would quickly learn, get to know other players. As opposed to with on the hero side, there were so many players that you rarely were playing with the same people. So seeing how you didn't know them, it was easier for people to be ASAT.
Lobotomy lab control node enabled. Central guard post node enabled. Boiler room control node enabled.
That all you got?
So you saw, I was not able to do anything to kill a Wog, and then on my third attempt, he blocked, and I was on my backside.
You think you'd learn?
So somehow my attack did nothing to him. Oh, there seems to be a console. Oh, no, there's not.
Poison ivy release enabled.
Back off.
Next time,
pipsqueak.
try
The
using
Joker
brain.
release enabled.
Hello,
I'm trying not to end up. Too late, too late.
hero number 1.
Like the suit?
Hello,
I'm just getting
Wear the
started.
Dark Knight.
Don't you have a cat in a...
stop your crying.
Oh,
You am good friend.
I am the Batman.
Wash with kindness.
you saw Kilowog block like half a second after I did my attack, and the window was still open for him for me to be blocked. So
Out of my way.
So if you're wondering why people are not too happy with PvP, that is one reason.
Who's the Man of Steel now?
Hello.
Call yourself a threat?
And you see the evil Bizarro up there sniping us. And again,
Try detective work.
so we do have a couple of snipers, it would seem.
The coin is never wrong.
Oh, I was able to knock him on his backside once. I'm a bit almost surprised that it worked.
Vengeance.
The Joker release enabled.
Oh, let's get out of here. Aiden says they spam arts in duels in Bohemia. Well, in duels you can use artifacts, unlike in arena or legends. So yeah, people use whatever they have. Tim, I come back after like 8 years. I still don't lose in PvP clean. Against the cheesers who say they're good and trash talking, there's always cheesers. You can't really avoid it. So there seems to be a few more of us. Let's see if we can try a 5 versus 5. So let's start with the moon. For the moon, we'll use our friend Green Lantern. Because Batman cannot breathe on the moon, come on. But yeah, so way back when, we could create our characters on the PvP open world. But again, basically some players were griefing other players. And the devs had to change that, so they changed it so that you could no longer create your characters on the PvP open world. Uh, I would still do that. Like basically, what I would do is that I would create my character in the PvE open world, and then as soon as I would reach level 4, I would go to the lair of one of my characters, and then go to the watchtower, and then use the phase shifter to go to the PvP open world. And for a long time, I would always play on the PvP. I would create my characters on the PvP open world, and when we didn't get the option, I would switch to the PvP open world as soon as I would reach level 4. And the reason for that is very simple. I much preferred to play in the PvP open world because that way, if some people are trying to grief you over there, you could beat the snot out of them if you wanted to. Because sometimes low level players would try to grief you as well, and you would be fighting, let's say, an NPC, and then some players would get near the NPC and they would heal the NPC. And you could do anything in the PvE open world. But if they try to do that in the PvP open world, you could beat the snot out of them. And also in the PvP open world, it was a pretty special experience. You had to, as I would say, you had to pretty much grow eyes in the back of your head because there was always someone trying to jump you. And also from until you reach level 9, you did not have access to your super speed movement mode or to your fast movement mode. So you had to be extra careful in those times because obviously high level players had their fast movement mode, so you couldn't really.
Match commencing.
It was very challenging to try to escape from them. It was still possible though.
Time to bust some heads!
In the name of peace.
No fear.
Like there's one time where there's this guy who started attacking my poor. I don't know. First level, I was probably level 6, 7 maybe, and so some high level players was trying to attack me. And what I had to do is that I had to zigzag between buildings so that he would lose line of sight and could not target me.
Shape up or ship out.
That was bad.
My will is stronger than yours.
You're going down in one punch.
Stand down.
So you saw here with my airstrike ability, I forced the power girl to block, and I block broke her as soon as she did. Sometimes you can be a bit crafty like that.
Bring it on.
Or as you saw, her freeze breath ability takes so long, you get stuck in the animation for a bit. So
Making the world a better
it's
place.
usually it's an
Starting
ability
with
that's
your
easy enough
face.
to I can't
wanted
do
a fight?
anything.
You
Behave
got
yourself.
This ought to shut you up.
And you saw our friend John Stewart spam block trying to catch me in default.
I love a good
You
fight.
don't stand a chance.
Beware my power.
Never wrong.
Yeah, before we got
Mortal.
before we got the first season of PvP, I was playing a lot of arenas. I was trying to get crafty, and somehow I could not find the target.
Making the world a better place. Starting
Do
with
not
your
stand
face.
in my way.
Oh, that's what I'm looking for.
Time to bust some heads. You are finished.
Like the when we got the first season of PvP, that pretty much broke me. Because at first you had to get your wins to be able to get your currency. No wins, no currency at the time. They had the bright idea to make it so that if you did not win, you did not get any currency. Why am I by myself all of a sudden? And the first day it was easy enough. I got my wins very quickly because everyone had cash gear that first day. But by the end of that first day, a lot of people were in the full vengeance gear already. So getting a win became very, very difficult. And also at the time, I was playing a mental controller. But at the time, screw that. I'm not going.
Match over.
Like, there was no point in me going into the middle. I was pretty much by myself. So let's get out here. So yeah, so for the first season of PvP, by the first day, a lot of players had the full vengeance gear, and I was playing a controller, mental power, and sadly, by the second day, the game kept on matching me against. Not only was it matching me against people in full vengeance gear, there was supposed to be a matchmaking that would prevent that, but some people quickly learned how to game the matchmaking. And also, somehow, the game kept on matching me against Rage Player. So I would face Rage Players in full Vengeance gear, matches after matches after matches. It was a nightmare. So grinding to get that full Vengeance gear was a nightmare that first summer, and it kind of broke me a little bit. I did not really want to play PvP much afterwards. So I would still play a little bit after that, but it was a once in a while thing. And then at some point, I pretty much, I don't know, stopped playing PvP altogether. So I guess that's kind of answer. Aiden says I can answer that. I surely was up until 2016. Super Patriot got me banned. Then I went really casual and started over. Instead of having to heavy skill points, I just do competitive rules. Every grind all over again because Arena PvP only allows some species of PvP gear and banned several powers. Let's go again for 5v5. Oh, let's select our. Oh, wrong 5v5. There we go. Don't know why it didn't select. That's a bit strange. Oh, there we go. So Aiden was saying if we grind all over again because Arena PvP only some species of PvP gear and banned several powers, and Legends PvP banned several legends. So I just go with that for competitive. Don't have to grind PvP gear. Easier with competitive rules. Scrolls, Super Patriot just logs in and out of the game, so no one would take the name. Lol, he posted it on his YouTube channel. Aiden, just have to grind for legend characters. I just buy them gradually. Aiden, my PC had it all great, all legends until I got banned in 2016. Betty Boop, back then you just got the Archangel gear and start grinding. Aiden, instead of having to grind all over again, just do matches with competitive rules. Keelio, I got another survival mode nerf and one got a better spot. Oh,
Next time, try and use take rain. You lose.
You am good, friend!
This is what you get when rage meets will.
Hurts, doesn't it?
Call yourself a
Now
That's your best shot?
try harder.
Me, Bizarro.
Go green.
Hero number one!
Evil Bizarro, did you see that?
In half!
Attacking me like a traitor. Oh,
Time to die.
I was trying to finish off, there we go. I was trying to finish off Two-Face and somehow it just didn't want to happen.
Kindness!
Like, beware my power.
On your feet, poser! Me, Bizarro! Hero number
No
one!
fear.
The coin is never wrong.
This ought to shut you up.
Looking at me.
I am
No one
Batman.
escapes fate. Next time, don't fight the coin.
Oh, who's sniping me from over there? Nah, evil snipers.
Bad move, pal. Hurts, doesn't it?
I'll pulverize you! Now, you...
Once the best, always the best.
So you see our friend Bizarro is blocking, then blocking. He's trying to catch someone in default.
Nothing! Time to bust some heads!
Tails, you lose.
Meow.
You am good, friend!
What a rush!
Don't kiss and run.
Hello!
Looks like it's your lucky day.
Come on, evil timer.
Kitty, kitty.
You're going down in one punch.
On your feet, poser!
You're going down in one
Time
punch.
to bust some heads! Bizarro crush with kindness!
So you saw Two-Face running away, and it's
Beware
very
my
difficult to try
power.
to keep on attacking him while he's running away.
Pulverize ya!
Because by the time you try to attack him, he moved a bit further away and a bit further away. You need a good pull move to try to either keep him from doing that.
Dumb.
Here, kitty, kitty.
You could try to use swoop attack,
Hero number
but the swoop attack doesn't really help all that much. And there we go. So Squall says PvP was much more fun back then. So much fun in the open world. I enjoyed raiding the villains nightclub. Yeah, people did seem to enjoy that for quite a while. Back then, it's the same gear, 97, 98, 99, 100, 101. I was 100. Back then, with competitive rules, they were really, really skilled players. I'm not sure I would say that. When we got the first season of PvP, there were players who had the reputation of being really good PvP players. Turns out that when everyone had cash gear, you could defeat those players easily enough. So a lot of players were good because they had the best gear in the game. And for villains, back then there were so few villains and a lot of heroes that if you tried to cure for PvP for heroes, it would take forever for a cure to pop. As opposed to villains would play one match after another because there were so few villains that let's try 8v8. There were so few villains that as soon as you would cure for PvP, you would get into a match. As opposed to heroes, you had to wait and wait and wait, and it was like that until they added the Task Force X system. Because way back when they would match heroes versus villains, and again, since there were so many heroes and so few villains, villains were able to get the top PvP gear very quickly. So they had overall villains had better PvP gear, which made them better PvP players by default. But then one day, when everyone had cash gear, somehow that wasn't true no more. And what happened with that first PvP season is that on that first day, there are people who spammed, basically they spammed PvP. They used replay badges, and they played PvP over and over and over in order to get the full Vengeance gear on the first day. There's a few ways people would do that. In some cases, all they did was use replay badges. In other cases, they would trade wins. So they would sync their gear with someone else. And then they would win one match, then the other guy would win the other match, then they would trade wins like that until they got the first, the full Vengeance gear. From what I understand, it took roughly 3 hours if you did that to get the full PvP gear at the time. I guess I may have tried a bit too early for 8 versus 8. Let's go also for... somehow I skipped Arkham 5v5. So there we go. So either Arkham 5v5 or Australia. You guys will decide. That was quick. Oh no, people were trading wins back then. Biddy boop. They've been doing that at least as far as when we got the first season of PvP. They would sing their curse so that they would end up fighting each other, and then they would trade they would trade wins amongst themselves. No, I've seen it. At the time, people were saying that no, 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 that's impossible. And then I took my multiverse character, my Saturn Knight character. I synced the cure of both characters, only to prove that nah, it could be done easily enough. I have a video from way back when. If you look it up, I have a video where I synced the cure with my two characters, and it took about 5 seconds. It was very easy to do.
Lobotomy lab control node enabled. Central guard post node enabled. Boiler room control node enabled.
This ought to shut you up.
So you saw Kilowog only tapped the
Go
block,
green.
and it didn't give me a chance to even
think
try
you'd
to
learn.
block break him. And of course, you saw the evil Batman jump me in the back. Evil Batman. But trading wins was being done way back when. It's been done at least as far as the first season of PvP, and maybe even
Stop
before that.
looking at me.
You don't
The
stand a
Joker release
chance.
enabled.
The coin
Mr.
is never
Freeze
wrong.
release enabled.
Heads, you lose.
No, I wanted to click Two-Face. I'm so sad now. Oh, it's captured.
Cower before me.
Now, when we got the first season of PvP, it was very enlightening. Again, as I mentioned, there were some players who were considered very, very OP players until we realized that once they had the cash gear, same as everyone else, they were not so OP. But of course, a lot of those players made sure to have the full vengeance gear as soon as possible.
Beware my power.
And for people who, at the time, people were saying that the gear didn't matter, the gear didn't make a difference. No, it made quite a difference. Because strangely enough, when I was in cash gear versus full vengeance gear, it was very, very difficult to get a win. But somehow, once I was able to get the full vengeance gear,
You're going down in one
I was able to defeat 3, 4, 6 enemies all by myself. So it made a big difference. I did not become OP,
No fear.
the best PvP player in the world by accident. It was the gear that made the difference. Well, people would do two things. They would trade wins also to be able to game the matchmaking.
Make it for
Uh,
you.
way back when when the devs had the bright idea to make it so that you had to have a win in order to be able to get your currency. Some of us had mentioned concerns that not a good idea. What if you win? What if you lose 5, 10, 23 matches in a row?
This ought
How
to
are you
shut
going to
you
get your
up.
currency? The matchmaking was supposed to prevent that. It was supposed to match people of the same skill level. But people quickly learned how to game the matchmaking. That's one of the reasons also why they were trading wins, so that way they could farm losses, so that then when they would get when they would get into curse, the matchmaking would match them against weaker players, thinking they were 10 seconds, thinking they were weaker players because of the losses they had. Basically, the win loss ratio you had would determine your ranking. And again, seeing how people were
Voice enabled.
losing on purpose, they were gaming the system so that they could get matched against weaker players. So there's quite a few ways that people found to game the system back then. Aiden says trading wins helps if no one is currying because devs block sync quotes. They have a window of curs. If two front curs up, they don't. They don't. I go search in my videos. I made a video where I show that specifically. It doesn't matter if you're friends or not. It doesn't matter if you're even in the same league or not. If you sync your crew at the same time, the matchmaking will match you together. Betty Boop, but Aiden PvP was very active then. Even the PvP events were active. That is true. PvP was active then. Well, I'll say this: if you were good back then, it would still show today. I never claimed I was good back then, or even today. Miss Bitty Boop, okay, gear matters till game update 47. I think that's when level 10s started one-shotting in arenas. No, it still matter. Aiden, that's why skilled players back then still plays now, stays on the low. Skilled players playing against cheesers. Cheesers was still in with the crazy broken abilities. Several powers not allowed and level 28 gear only. Mostly the boo boo again. Let's go to the watchtower. Skill points matter then too, which is still matter today. I guess it's still kind of sort of matter a little bit, maybe. Skill points is significantly reduced in arenas. At 400 soul, you're only getting like 500 precisions and might. Well, for skill points, how many do I have? Yeah, I suppose. I guess while we wait, a question that often comes back is multiverse. Do we need PvP gear to play PvP? Yes and no. You don't really need it. By default, the game will give you the same stats as if you had the 96 PvP set of gear. Obviously, you want to have the 101 set of gear so that you'll be more powerful. But you can still play with even if you don't have PvP gear. And there's even if you don't win matches for some reason, let's say you're in 96 PvP gear and you lose a lot, you still work towards a certain feat. You still work towards getting the currency you need to
Each
purchase your
basic
gear.
enhanced battle armor is
So even if
available
you
in
don't
multiple
have
combat
PvP
modes and
gear, you can still play
customizable colors.
PvP anyways, and work your way towards getting your PvP gear, and also work your way towards getting feats. Decisions. Let's get the gloves. I hate when I do that. So for the PvP
Qualify
gear,
unique combatant.
so the game starts you as if you had the 96 PvP gear. So you have to start by buying the 97 PvP gear. And then once you get the full 97 PvP gear, then you can purchase the 98, the 99, and so on. So you have to purchase the full set of PvP gear before you can purchase the next one. So again, you have to purchase the entire 97 PvP gear. You have to purchase 2 rings. You have to purchase the neck piece, the mask, the trinket, everything. And only then, only once you have everything, then you can move on to the next gear and to the next gear. But sadly, by the time you reach some of the higher level gear, like you can see 5,000 just for the chest piece, 4,000 for the shoulders, another 5,000 for the headpiece. So it gets expensive after a while. Bitty Boop says back then you could PvP in the DPS role. Now you have to fight in support role to even stand a chance. No, I'm not sure I would say that. It depends. It depends which support you mean. Yeah, tank are pretty powerful in PvP. Although we saw also some healers that were pretty powerful also in PvP. Like the other day, was it last week, 2 weeks ago? At some point, I was fighting a healer player, and there's nothing I could do. I couldn't do enough any damage. It would heal back faster than I could damage him. So I would say it depends which role, because I guarantee you when you play as a controller, you don't have the advantages that tanks or healer have. So yeah, if you play as a tank, you might be right. If you play as certain healers, you might be right. If you play as a controller, I don't think so. Let's go back to House of Legends, I guess. Aiden says I miss the support roles when they were good back then. You mean for PvP? I um, it depends. There were people very often I would get into a group and would be asked to switch to PvP to DPS because people didn't want to have a troll in the group. So I don't know. It depends. I guess it depends on who you were playing with. Aiden says you're not getting much now with 400 restoration. I could have sworn I read that one before. Did we? Did the chat jump on me? So you're not getting much now with 400 on restoration for health. Total restoration 400 is skill point. And is 15 skill point start plus one per skill point. So like likely 400 restore in total. Reset your skill point, scrim a friend in 1v1, but don't write. Just put a skill point in stat one at a time, and you'll see. Hi is asking, is there anything big coming soon? The next thing that should be coming should be the summer seasonal. Let me check. Maybe there's some news that I didn't see just yet. There should be the summer seasonal soon. How soon? We don't know. Next week? Next month? We don't know. We don't have any news about that just yet. And I don't see anything. It's the weekend, so normally the devs are not at work, but I guess it wouldn't be impossible for them to post some news from home. Maybe. Come on, Evil Discord. Full disclosure, I don't like Discord very much. And it doesn't seem to like me either. I don't know why sometimes certain sections will disappear. Like sometimes it'll be the general section for DCUO, and then poops, it disappears. I don't see it no more. And then I log in an hour later, and oh, there it is again. Let me check X. Sometimes we get news on X. Right now, X seems to be the best place to get information, at least, or to get it a bit early. That seems to be the first place where they do post information about DCUO. Let me check. But nah, the last thing we had was the post about the winners for the giveaway for the Fearful Day giveaway. So no, sorry, no news about anything yet. We know that there is the summer seasonal coming up, but when we don't know. Aiden says the stats are super crazy lower per skill point in arena. Aiden, Betty, you'll see how crazy low skill point is in arena. 1v1 scrim, a friend. Okay, you mentioned that before. Restoration, 400 skill point on those. And I guess the auto text is correcting your post, so I assume you're posting from your phone. It happens. So I guess people don't want to queue for the watchtower. I understand it's not a fun map, I guess. So let's try. So we'll stay queue for watchtower containment. We'll queue for Australia also. So you guys will decide. Watchtower 5v5 or Australia 8 versus 8. The choice is yours. And if you're wondering, multiverse, how can we join a match? Quite simple. Just go for the mission. There we go. Miss Betty Boop, trust me, I pay attention to my stats in arena. That's why I know support role makes your stats jump. David Sharp says Watchtower just popped. Yeah, I just saw that. I think Godman is a ghost. He keeps on disappearing. Aiden, by 400 restoration in total, the only thing that 400 restore total helps with is making shields stronger. That's why I use all shields on ice and survive in 2v2, so partner and me can use the finishers. Aiden says 2 tank powers and DPS can break out of counters and using finishers safely. You convinced me, Aiden. Maybe I should play PvP with a tank power. I'll have to give it some thoughts. Exatal, I wish they'd update the models to be the current ones, but I doubt they care about the PvP Legends. No, they can't do that. They sold the model like way in the marketplace. You have to you can purchase some of those models, and that's how they sold it. They sold the models with those styles. Like when you purchased, well, let's find our friend. Oh, there it is. So let's say you purchase way back when you purchased Superman. That is the skin that Superman had. So when you paid at the time it was $10 to purchase Superman. So when you spent your hard-earned $10 to purchase Superman, it was with that skin. So they cannot really change it because that is what you paid for. You paid for Superman looking the way he is looking. He is looking. So if they were to change it, a lot of people who did spend their good hard-earned money to purchase that skin of Superman would really not be happy. I guess what they could do is add an additional Superman with the skin that you see right now, or give the option to select which Superman skin you want with your character. But if they were to change the old skins, some people will not be happy because that is the skin they purchased. That is a skin they wanted to purchase. Aiden says 2 tank powers, breakouts, give immunity 3 seconds, breakout trinket, give immunity for 3 seconds, tank ability, breakout gives immunity for 3 seconds, and if countered, use that to break out. And the immunities don't seem to work the way they should. They should though. Like whenever I use my trinket and I get I get block broken or juggled or just like half a quarter of a second after using the trinket. It doesn't seem to work sometimes. Actually, I should say oftentimes. So if anyone ever wondered how invisibility works, you just saw that. Way back when we had an iconic ability called the X-ray vision that would allow you to be able to that would increase your chances to spotting someone invisible. But nowadays, only tank seems to have that ability. Like there's an ability that tank have that allows them to see invisible enemies, but they did remove that ability for everyone else somehow. Aiden says repeat finisher, so that's how they get around that. Okay, I suppose. Is why I use tank powers for three-way immunities, better chances than just a regular breakout. So basically, they use breakout immunity. They use breakout to gain immunity, then use a finisher. Immunity, finisher, immunity, finisher. It's what you're saying, Aiden? Tank breakout cooldown is 18 seconds to breakout of counter, and that is good to rotate. With breakout trinket, 60 seconds. Is your power tank? Absolutely not. I'm a controller. Oh, Iceman says F Legends. I guess he doesn't like Legends very much. So I guess someone. What's the best Rs for controller? It depends which kind of controller you want to be. But personally, I like to use the Amulet of Ra, the Bird of Prickling Device. I have Grimbor's Chain, but I wouldn't recommend it. I started using also because of the 5 artifacts. I put back Grimbor's Chains. I put back Grimbor's Chains and Parasite Power Harness. I didn't use the Grimbor's Chain in a long, long, long time, and I wouldn't recommend it. Last time we played with it last week. The Claw of Ailkund, if you want to be a buff troll, that would be an option. Um, I guess now that we have 5 artifacts, there are people who are going back to using the Eye of Gemini, so that could be a good option, I suppose. And also, there's also the one of the cards. I always forget which one. Ah, there it is. There's the Strategist card, also that could be a good option. I should probably switch it for Grimbor's Chain. I'll do that later. I was able to use. I was thinking that the Grimbor's Chain could be useful to slow down certain enemies in certain maps. It barely works, sadly, most of the time, and it doesn't work in bosses, so makes it a bit pointless. We don't have a group breakout. Do you mean the group shield? There's no controller breakout. There's the trinket. There is for the Green Lantern though. One of the shield acts as a breakout. So is that what you're talking about? There's no group breakout ability. There's a group shield ability. Grantor is not. Give me a minute. My power is quantum.
Ain't that something?
Bring it on.
You think you'd learn?
You're going down in one punch.
Fastest man alive.
now?
I'm just getting started.
So we saw Atrocitus kept on blocking and blocking and blocking. And that happens.
This ought to shut you up.
Are you even trying?
Back off, pipsqueak.
Hurts, doesn't it?
Ah, freaking timer.
Next time, try using your brain.
Beware my power.
Looks
Back
like
off,
it's your lucky
pipsqueak.
day.
Almost got me.
Evil never wins. Party time.
Try detective work.
No one escapes.
No fear.
Fate. Next time.
Give up!
Go green.
Score another for the good guys.
I don't know you.
So as you saw, when there's multiple opponents attacking you, you keep on getting
Need
knocked
a
down.
sec to catch your breath?
So there's nothing you can do sometimes. Oh, Rayshon says I beat Batman Arkham Knight's game story mode. Congrats.
Who's the man of steel now? Bad move, pal. Crime doesn't pay.
Enough.
The coin is never wrong.
Score another for the good guys.
Did you see that? Attacking me from behind like that?
Me.
No
There we
one
go.
escapes fate. Next time, don't fight the coin.
Next time, try using your brain.
I am the
Close, but not close enough.
Evil never wins.
Hurts, doesn't it? You're getting nowhere fast.
Beware my power. What a rush! Like the suit.
I
No fear. Like the suit.
that all you got?
Looks like it's your lucky day.
This ought to shut you up.
Beware the
Next
Dark
time,
Knight.
try using
You're
your
going
brain.
down in one punch.
For
Careful.
justice.
I scratch.
I don't know you.
10 seconds. Whenever the entire team focuses on you, you have to wonder, where's everyone else's? You see that? Two-Face running away. So here's the scoreboard for those who like that. So let's go back to loadout. So we don't have a group breakout in Quantum. Uh, well, I guess you mean Quantum tunneling, but it's a shield that can be used also to teleport. And yeah, it does act a bit also as a breakout ability. It's supposed to also to detaunt. Obviously, detaunt in PvP doesn't matter, but even in PvE, uh, pretty rare that I see the detaunt ability actually even works. But even with quantum tunneling, like the shield, sadly, usually enemies go through your shield in half a quarter of a second. But yeah, the quantum tunneling works. It works on many levels, but for the breakout, yeah, I guess it does work a bit for that. Non-hero says your team was probably scattered and you had inexperienced players just guessing. It could be. Either way, I think we're done for today, guys. Let's switch to my other checkmate armory. Come on, come on. Evil timer. So I guess that's going to be it for today, guys. So next Wednesday we'll play Arena PvP at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And on Friday we will play live at 5. Again at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. There's not really going to be a theme, I think, this week. I don't know if we're going to get anything from the devs. Again, as I mentioned before, we're expecting to get the summer seasonal at some point. I don't think we'll get it this week, but I hope to be wrong. But I would expect it maybe next week, maybe the first week of July. Sadly, at this point, we're going to have to wait and see. So, guys, thanks to everyone who came to chat with us. Thanks to everyone who came to play with us. And, of course, thanks to all of you guys watching. You guys are awesome. Have a good rest of the weekend, guys.